Welcome to FilMyWatchlist. My name is Richard Keeney. I've been busy catching up on some new releases since the start of the year. Here are my thoughts on what I saw. I was looking forward to Vice ever since it was first announced. I really enjoyed The Big Short. Adam McKay is a director that I like a lot. I think his comedies such as Anchorman, The Other Guys, and Step Brothers are hilarious and really well directed. It's great to see him take on quote-unquote more serious films in the way that maybe it's got more prestigious actors attached, with a mostly more dramatic approach. The premise of Vice seems perfectly suited to the kind of political dramas that I'd like to see. Overall, I kind of found it to be a mixed bag. There's fantastic performances, namely Christian Bale is incredible as Dick Cheney. Amy Adams, Lynn Cheney is great, specifically when she gets to shine in the first hour or so of the film. Sam Rockwell is brilliant as George W. Bush, although he gets very little screen time considering that you would expect him to be a major player in the film. There's interesting editing, this kind of montage-y, this kind of hyperkinetic, postmodern video essay editing. Sometimes it works really well and has the desired effect. Sometimes I find it was really on the nose and unnecessary and in your face and just calling attention to itself. Sometimes it breaks the fourth wall in a funny way that kind of adds enjoyment to the film, and sometimes I find myself wondering why we have a voiceover narrator listing attributes that are needed for Dick Cheney's character and also us seeing them on screen. The idea of show don't tell is kind of left by the wayside here. We're being told and shown at the same time, which makes things a little bit obvious and somewhat over the top. I know that's definitely what Adam McKay was going for with the editing, but I feel like it could have benefited from a subtler approach. So between that and his direction, the film comes across as a little bit heavy-handed at times, especially in the moments when, if he held back a bit, it would be way more effective. Vice is definitely worth a watch, but I found it overall disappointing considering that potential. The potential of the George Bush years with the Iraq War. There's so much controversy and scandal there that I would love to have been explored a little bit more seriously. I really enjoy the satire and poking fun at incompetent politicians, but Christian Bale's performance is so well done. He can sell the comedy, but he has humanized Dick Cheney in a way that when Adam McKay decides to use him as a punchline, there's a jarring effect there. I feel like Adam McKay was working off the presumption that we already despise Dick Cheney, and he's certainly right on my part, even though I don't know the full story, but I still would have liked to let that story unfold itself in a more objective way. It definitely feels like they don't let Bale's Cheney have a character arc in the way that you never see him decide. You never see him change from naive to malevolent. It's kind of assumed we know why he wants to take control and have the power that George Bush would otherwise have, and it's kind of assumed that we know why he wants to exploit Iraq for oil or pretty much do all of the awful things that he does, but we don't feel exactly how that character is being benefited. It feels like he's just being evil for evil's sake, even though we can kind of enjoy watching him on screen because Bale is so funny and warm with his portrayal of Cheney, and especially the likes of his relationship with his daughters, that it just feels like a jarring character shift in some stages. I definitely would have liked to see Rockwell and Bale interact more as well. I feel the few scenes they had together were great in terms of performance, and it feels like there's a big chunk missing out of the Bush and Cheney years in the Bush White House from 2000 to 2008. They invade Iraq and suddenly there's a huge jump and Obama's inaugurated, and I would have loved to see what's missing there. There's definitely something of substance that could have been drawn out a bit more. The first hour of the film feels kind of top heavy in that the build up and build up and build up to the White House makes the brief depiction of that administration fly by and feel way too brief for a film called Vice, and a film that a lot of people are coming to only knowing about Dick Cheney through his association with Bush. I definitely appreciate some of the insights into Dick Cheney's personal life, whether they're biased or not, but I would have loved to see what we already know in a different light as well. Bale is undeniably great in the role, and I think he deserves Best Actor in the Oscars, but overall Vice was a bit disappointing for me. I'm going to give it 3 stars out of 5. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, you can find the link in the description below. I'm currently doing requests for any videos that my patrons want to see, reviewing their favorite movie, for example, or listing or analyzing any movie that you would like me to do. Thanks very much for watching. If you like the video, please consider subscribing for more movie reviews and movie lists.